All right, Rippers, welcome back to the bench. We got our part in, like I was saying, and it's one of these dual adjustable, what do they call them? Armory Craft flat triggers, right? And so you can adjust take up and over travel, right? Or, yep, take up and over travel, that's right. Anyway, and it's all machined out of aluminum. Looks really nice. Got it coated in black, so it's going to match real nice. So let's go ahead and get that on this thing. So first off, we got no magazine in there, and we've got no ammo in it, as you can see, right? And so while we got it back like this, let's go ahead and take her down. So we're going to go ahead and rotate the takedown lever. We're going to push down on the slide release on either side and just take it right off the front and set it aside. So there you go. Now what we've got is we've got our lower grip module, right? So we're going to go ahead and rotate this lever back up to its normal position, push from this back side, and pull this piece out right here and set that aside. That was our sport takedown lever with a little bit of a grippy right there, right? Like an index point. So we're going to set that aside right there. Now what we're going to do is grab onto our two front ears like we always do, push up on them like this, and pull out at the same time. Boom, just like that. Okay, so now that we've got that done, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do the, well, first we're going to set those aside, and we're going to do like Armory Craft said. Now they said that you got to take these screws here out. All right, so take the first one out right there, and you got to put some blue Loctite on them to keep them in place. So we're going to put a little blue Loctite on there, kind of move it around on there like that. There we go. And we're going to put this back in here about halfway like they had it. And then, move it back some. And then we're going to take out the other one, which the other one is in the inside here. And we're going to go ahead and back that one out. And it's a little bit longer of one, as you can see. So we're going to put some Loctite on that. And we're going to kind of just make sure to spread it around with the tip. All right. Okay. And that's a real important step because they don't want these things walking out and self-adjusting themselves. And that way you can end up with a dangerous situation. Now, when you're putting it back in there, you got to make sure that you're not cross-threading anything. So you don't want to force any threads. You want it to go in nice and easy, just like it came out. So we're going to put that one in part of the way. Now, the reason we want to do this is you don't want these things walking on you and, say, making the take up even less so that something accidentally touches that trigger and it goes off. So they recommend that this modification is only for, you know, say like competition, target shooting, things like that, not for your carry guns or your home defense kind of things like that. I'll leave that up to all you guys to decide. I think everybody, you know, knows their own skill levels and stuff like that. I would just say that if you're just starting out and don't have, you know, say a plethora of experience, start off slow, right? Don't adjust this thing up real tight or real fine, and kind of get used to it and whatnot. Get to know your firearm, get out and practice, right? I do think it's okay to be putting on your firearm for practice and whatnot like that, because it will help you become a better shooter and get a better feel for your trigger. So I do like this modification. I do like adjustable triggers. Anybody that's had a 1911, they've had adjustable triggers as well and know how to adjust the bow itself. And it really does make a big difference. So let's put that aside. Now what we got to do here is we've got to do that thing again where we take and we move up this lever here, right? Let's see here. You got to pull it down. You got to move it down in the sear channel and then push it up to disconnect it, and then move it back a little, right? So once you get it up like this, then you can move your trigger forward and push it back. You should be able to. There you go. So now it's out of the channel, and as you can see, it disconnects from the thing. So that's basically the movement you're looking for here. We'll go ahead and get the trigger out of the way. So the trigger, once it's in the forward position, will just lift right out, okay? So what you're looking for is when you have this back where the trigger was, is you're lifting up, you're pulling back, up, and backwards like this. So that's push down on it, lift it up, move it backwards, right? So if you do it like this, it's push it down, lift it up, move it out of its channel. That's the sear channel right there. So now you've got it set where you need it. So we'll put this down just where it is, just like that, right? Because now what we're going to do is we're going to prep it a little bit with a little bit of lube, some sort of light grease or something like that, gun grease of some sort. Doesn't matter which one you use. This is what I had handy, but it's always nice to prep the part a little bit right here, and you can put it, you'll see here, that's the, I'll show you the original trigger and the Armory Craft. So this is the Armory Craft, this is the original. You'll see that it has a little little pin in there, and that's what goes into this hole right there, right, to hook up to the trigger bar. So you can see they all have kind of the same parts. I will say this is a really nice machine part. It's got a nice little channel in there. There is more to it than the other one to kind of keep it in there to add to reliability and strength. You can see the difference. If you can see the difference here too as well, you see in the way that it is, but it is a drop-in part, and what we're going to do is we're going to grease up a little bit of these surfaces right here, and it doesn't have to be a lot. You're just wiping a little bit on that pin surface, this pin surface, and the reason I like using a little bit of a light grease is because it'll stay put, right? It'll stay in place. So that's basically the only surfaces you need it on, are those two pin surfaces right there. You could take a little bit and just put it right inside with your Q-tip inside that trigger bow if you wanted, right? You could just put a little dollop there around that. You could just put that in that channel like this, and then around this pin. Now, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's just something that I would recommend for a part like that that's going to be rotating a lot. And then you can just oil up your gun as normal. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put, now that we're in this position, we're going to put this new trigger, well, yeah, we're going to put this new trigger, slide it in its forward position, you know, so all the way forward where this part is touching this, it'll slide right in. Now what we've got to do is kind of work the pin, or the trigger bar, excuse me, into that hole again. Remember how we did that before? You kind of push back like this, and you get this pinched in there. There we go. Now it's in the pin hole. See, now it's in the trigger bar hole. And so then what you can do is you make sure your pin is in the other side, which it is right there, right? And now you can just, that motion that I said, you got your thumb on here like this, you got your finger here like this, and now you're going to push this forward. You're going to push forward, back on the trigger like you were firing it, and push forward on this piece right here, and it pops right into place. Boom, just like that. Now you're back, right? See how you got it there? It was really that easy to put that in. I'm not kidding you. Boy, what a great looking part that is. Now, what we're going to do is we're not going to adjust this right yet. We want to adjust the take up a little bit. Let's see, do we want to adjust the over travel or the take up first? Let's see. We don't want to adjust the over travel quite yet, or we want to take this one and kind of, or yeah, we want to take the over travel, right? And maybe just move it up just a little bit, because you can adjust this while it's in the gun. And then you can take and maybe make a couple turns. This kind of just saves you time on the over travel, or the take up, excuse me, and you can crank that until it, I'm going to put just a little bit more, I think, Loctite on that real quick. There we go. We can wipe off the excess Loctite too with a Q-tip when we're done, but we're going to put that in there, and we're going to move it forward until it touches, just about touches, or it touches the the metal frame of the trigger module. So you can see right here, that right there, in here, I have it so that it just came forward enough to touch the trigger module metal right here. And we're going to leave it at that for right now, right? We don't need to go any further than that. And we only moved forward maybe a turn or so on the over travel. So we got that all set up. Now we're going to put it back in the handgun, right? All right. So when you put this in, you just take that, move the trigger in a little bit, slide it right back into position. Now, remember, like I said, sometimes that little bar comes forward and it won't let you put your take-up thing in. And what you do for that is you basically push up on this, on your slide stop, push down on your hammer, take a little Allen wrench, push back on that piece, and that's that little triangle piece right here. You'll see it right there that won't let you go through. That's what actually holds this piece in when it's all put together, right? So sometimes it comes loose and it comes forward. So all you got to do is lift up on your slide stop with your thumb here. You'll see with your thumb, push down on basically the sear right there, and push back on that triangle piece. And then while you're holding that triangle piece back, let loose of the slide stop and then of the hammer, and then let go. Now it's in position, right? You should be able to get your part in. So then we're going to go ahead and put in our takedown lever, just like that. Put it into the takedown position. We're going to take our slide and put it back on. We're going to lock the slide back, right? We're going to return our takedown lever where it goes, and now we're back together. Now we can test it real quick and just see. See, we still got a lot of take up, and we have our firing right there, right? So we can see we hit the wall, and then I try to push past the wall but not make it move past there. Now it went off, but you'll see all this take up we have, right? So first, let's adjust the take up here, right? The pre-travel. So what we're going to do is you get your little thing here, and you can only do it in little 1/4 inch turns. And this is the one that goes this way towards the front, right? And so we'll just a 1/4 turn at a time, boop, just like that. We'll screw it in, and we'll see how much room we have. As you can see here, we still have quite a bit of take up right there. Now what you want is about 2 millimeters, right? So we're going to go in and we're going to do that again. Get your Allen wrench in there. And this is where it can be a little tricky. There we go. Got our Allen wrench in. Move it a 1/4 turn more. Then we can check it. See, now we're getting there. We're pretty close. We're about 3 millimeters there. And then the wall, and then the take up. So, or over travel. So the wall fires, and then, okay. So we're going to move it just one more 1/4 of a turn. Hardest part is getting that thing in that little Allen hole. I know, make the jokes now. Now, we're going to move it one more 1/4 of a turn. Just like that. And then we're going to check it. Now, that right there is probably about 1. That's a little too much right there to start with. So, let's right now back it off about 1/8 of a turn and see how that does. Right? So, 1/8 of a turn's about halfway. We'll put it right there. Now, that right there is about 2 millimeters right there, and that's just what we want, because then it'll break right there like that, right? Okay, so now let's do the over travel, and that's the part where you can see here when you'll hear it fire, right? all of this take up at the end. That right there. So you'll want to turn, that's the back screw right here that goes straight down. And what you want to do is we'll move it quarter turn at a time until it doesn't fire, okay? So there's a quarter turn right there. And it fired. So we're going to do it again. Quarter turn right there. And it fired. So we're going to do it again. Quarter turn right there. And it fired. I'm going to do one more time. Quarter turn right there. And it still fired. So we're going to keep going. Quarter turn right there. And it fired. We're getting close now, so we'll do another quarter turn. Quarter turn right there. Still fired, but I can feel less take up, so here we go. Let's get it in the hole. Come on, rip. Quarter turn right there. Still fired. Uh-oh, we got somebody home. Quarter turn right there. And it won't fire. Oh, there we go. We got a fire. Quarter turn right there. And it's just getting harder, so it's just there. We're about ready to get it to where it won't fire. Another quarter turn. Boy, that's a lot of quarter turns. I should have turned that more from the start so we wouldn't have to go so many quarter turns. But I'm going to do, well, let's do that one. Quarter turn since we're so close. And it barely engaged. I think this next one's going to do it. Right there. And nothing. Dead trigger. So what we want to do is go back 1 quarter turn. So you do it until it doesn't fire, then go back a quarter turn. And that's what, you can go back more if you want, whatever's to your suiting, but that's what a lot of people have instructed, you know, they say to do. So that basically you have it get to the wall, fires, and then it's basically right there, right? Right there, right that. Then the reset is just that quick. There's very little pre-travel, and away you go. So that's what you do. Now, the hardest part about this install is now you got to wait 24 hours to let that Loctite dry and then go out and try it at the range. If you have any issues, you can back those things out a quarter turn at a time until it's just right for you. So I hope this helped you figure out how to put this part in. I hope that you go out and enjoy it and it makes you a better shooter, faster shooter, more accurate shooter, and most importantly, being safe and having all kinds of fun. So until next time, be safe, be secure, always be aware of your surroundings, and be getting ready and prepared for anything that may come your way. Adios.